Welcome to a new series about MCP apps, a brand new extension to the Model Context Protocol that lets tools return interactive UI instead of just text, and how Claude Desktop specifically supports it. This first episode is a quick map of the territory before we go deep, what we mean by a few key terms, and what each episode in the series covers. Up to this point, MCP has mostly meant the model calls a tool, the tool returns text or structured data, and that's what shows up in the conversation. MCP apps changes that by letting a tool point at an actual interactive HTML interface, dashboards, forms, 3D viewers that the host renders live. This series exists to understand that shift, and in particular how Claude Desktop, specifically, supports it today. Here's the distinction that's easiest to conflate and worth locking in early. MCPB is how you install an MCP server into Claude Desktop, settings, extensions, a .mcpb file. MCP apps is a completely different layer. What happens after a tool call when the server hands back an interactive UI instead of plain text? A single server can use both, ship as an MCPB for easy install, and also expose tools that render MCP apps UI. They're orthogonal, not the same thing. A handful of terms will come up again and again, so let's define them once. MCP is the base protocol. MCP apps is the specific extension this series is about. Host just means whatever app is embedding the UI, Claude Desktop, Claude.ai, VS Code. App Bridge is the SDK piece hosts use to actually render an app safely. And MCPB is Claude Desktop's install format, previously called DXT. Here's the plan. Episode 1 is a quick MCP recap and the motivation for adding apps at all. Episode 2 goes deep on the actual protocol, the handshake, the lifecycle, the security model. Episode 3 is specifically about Claude Desktop support, since there are a few overlapping pieces worth being precise about. Episode 4 is hands-on. We build a real, working MCP app from scratch. And Episode 5 tours the official example servers to see the pattern applied for real. Let's get into it.